back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me for another one of my videos. So today I wanted to do a video all about how to stay calm and peaceful in stressful situations. So I've been talking about this a lot over on my Instagram recently, and so many people were like, we need a video on this. Like, how do you stay calm? And what this kind of brought up for me recently was I'm a Virgo, so obviously Virgos are like, have it built in their DNA that when a stressful situation happens, shit hits the fan. Like, it's terrible, we need it fixed straight away, it's like the end of the world. So, you know, being a Virgo doesn't help, but all of us experience that as well. And I'm fully aware it is my ego and it is my fear and my inner Virgo-ness, like just not loving life. But recently I've like really made a conscious effort to address situations differently in my life and to address things more calmly and from a place of peace, because I've like, well, obviously I haven't just realized, I knew always that the inner reflects the outer, but sometimes we need that reminder, we need that prod from the universe to be like, hey, just remember, peace within, peace without, bitches. So in the past, like, although I've always like dealt with things maturely, dealt with things like as calm as I can be, behind the scenes is more where I kind of am like, so obviously to the exterior I'll be like cool, calm, collected, and then behind closed doors I'll be like, I can't cope, this is not happening, like no. And it can be hard, but like Selena, my friend, has like always said, she's like, I've always been calm throughout my life and situations have always been calm, and that is so freaking true for her, absolutely. But I don't know, I feel like some situations in my own life like could just not have had a calm response, but now I'm older and wiser, like I've learnt to deal with things better. So in a sense of, instead of reacting in that moment, because before my spiritual awakening I definitely would have reacted in a very reactive way for sure, but after my spiritual awakening and kind of once I'd, you know, cured my anxiety and depression, I have become a lot calmer and I deal with things in, you know, in the best way that I can, and we're always doing the best way we can for sure. And I always like take a moment out and think like, right, what is the right thing to do here? But still behind closed doors I was reacting within myself, so maybe not to the person or the situation but to myself, which still wasn't good. So I really took it upon myself to like go within those places and see what part of me was being triggered, and it was mainly in my relationships more than anything that I would be triggered from past hurts, past trauma, trust, all the lovely things that we go through as humans in life. And I really thought I'd nailed this. I really thought I'd like, you know, become this calm zen person, and then I was like, look, you don't actually need to even react in that way, like you don't need to. So really, to find calm and peace in a situation, like first of all was like, do not react. Like wherever you are, if it's work, home, on the phone to someone, like in public, whatever it is, walk away from the situation. That is my best tip. Walk away from the situation, say what you need to, and then process it by yourself. So what I do is I'll then process it and be like, right, what is this triggering me? How do I feel? How can I remove the illusion here and view the situation from a mature, calm, peaceful place? So once I've kind of like established whether actually it's not as bad as I originally thought, and sometimes like when we just have maybe a day or two to really just be, to feel what we need to feel, to cry if we need to really allow ourselves to feel what emotions need to come up, what actually that happens is you find that forgiveness, or you find that calmness where you're like, actually I'm ready to talk about this now, actually I'm ready to deal with this now, actually yep, I have overreacted, you know, let's talk, sort of things. And in some cases it can even be, you know, I actually need some more time to think about this, or do you know what, that was actually really not okay, I'm not okay with that. So whatever your kind of decision is or way forward, you know, make sure that's coming from a place of calmness, make sure that's coming from a place of you've had time to let the dust settle almost and process it in a way where you're looking at it from not the angry, intense emotions that, you know, our ego gives us in that moment. You know, you're looking at it from a place of, right, now I've had time to calm down and like actually look at the situation and how I feel. This is how I actually feel. This is how I actually want to move forward, not with what my ego kind of was making me feel, you know, earlier or a couple of days ago. So once you kind of walked away from the situation and obviously allowed yourself to calm down, it's really like telling yourself the truth of the situation. There are so many stories that we tell ourselves, which most of the time are bullshit anyway, it's our egos. So really, like, when you're, you know, make sure you're telling yourself the accurate story here of what actually has happened. And, you know, it's kind of a mixed balance, because some people will be like, well, like, you know, something could be convincing me that it's actually okay when it's not okay, and vice versa. So it is really about listening to your intuition and your own discernment here of what you feel is the right thing to do for you, no one else, for you, and then to, you know, move into a place of peacefulness where you can find peace with that situation. So that may be having that conversation, that may be finding forgiveness, that may be healing, it could be a whole array of things. But when you find the peace in the situation, like, literally miracles happen. And being calm about things actually allows your mind to like find solutions sometimes. You know, sometimes in the intensity of everything we can feel helpless, we can feel like, what the hell do I do, what's the solution here? So sometimes when we allow the calmness to wash over us, that's when the solutions could come through, because we're open to receiving them, we're calm, and we're that kind of like open vessel as such to receive those downloads and receive that, you know, inspired guidance. But when we're kind of overreacting, telling ourselves story and in ego mode, obviously we're not going to be in that place, because we're blocking it off with, you know, our ego side. And being calm also allows you to trust as well, because when you don't know what to do, when maybe spiritual solutions aren't like presenting themselves and you're like, I don't know what to do here, sometimes the best thing to do is trust. So calmness creates that place of trust where you can surrender, where you can let go, where you can just for that moment surrender to the process. Like, you know, you don't have to do that, you know, forever. It's for that moment you surrender to the process and you put your trust in the universe that at the right time, the right solution will come, the right thing will be said, the right thing will be happening, and, you know, everything happens for a reason. Now, it can be absolutely hard to do this. Like, you know, I'm all about authenticity here. It can be hard, and it definitely is a process of, you know, and being in a twin flame relationship myself, Jesus freaking Christ, like that triggers me so much. And like, you know, that's what all twins go through, is that, you know, that triggering of one another to bring the shadow up in each other to kind of heal and bring to the light. And obviously, and you know, getting quite like fiery, as I would say, has been something which I've definitely had to work on, because that is always how I used to be. And you know, whether you want to call it sassiness, fearness, confidence, whatever, like absolutely before my spiritual awakening, I would admit it was maybe not the best, and maybe not the most positive. Now I will only ever, you know, have that fierceness or boundaries, or, you know, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's overreacting. I would say it's more of a case of being firm energetically and being firm with boundaries and being firm with stuff which is absolutely not okay. And also, you know, there are some situations where things aren't going to be fair. Like, people will wrong you and it's not fair and it feels shit. And it's really about, like, again, what's the most calmest thing to do? So for me, like, I have really looked at my boundaries with people, and I have really had to implement them over the last year. And calmness for me in those situations was like, before, I absolutely would have said something to have the last word, to like, you know, say my piece as such, which probably wasn't peace in any way. And now I'm just like, namaste. Like, if that's what you think, if that's what you're gonna do, if that's how you're gonna be, I don't have to tolerate that. So now I'm just like, namaste, and I walk away. And that's my calmness for me, is not having to say anything, because I know who I am, I know what I stand for, and I know when things are just shady or not nice or not positive. So you also don't owe anybody anything. You owe yourself that peace and that calmness, but you don't owe anybody else that. So the calmness for me in those situations is to honor how I feel, and that will be walking away, saying nothing, and moving on. And that creates calmness within me, in the sense of I'm honoring how I feel, I'm honoring my boundaries, and I don't feel I have to say anything, because, you know, why do I? If someone's being negative or horrid, you know, you don't need to say anything. Like, that's within them. So calmness can look like that for sure. And you know, it's just, I think it's just really like listening to that ego, of the ego being like, you need to say something, you need to say something, and it's like, actually no, I actually don't need to say anything apart from forgiveness to myself, and let it all go. So calmness can definitely look like that, but in the sense of like, if you know that you don't want to walk away from that, or it's a relationship, or it's a friendship, a family member, whatever, calmness absolutely is, do not react in that moment. And especially if you're a twin flame, do not react in that moment. And you know, yes, you can feel hurt, yes, you can feel triggered, and it's okay to feel all of those things. And you know, it's a journey of going within to heal those things, but also it's knowing that if you're calm in that moment and you have that calm, peaceful vibe, that is gonna have to reflect in your outer, like just by the law of physics, the law of attraction. So, you know, if you're kind of like overthinking, overreacting, getting stressed out, like literally like, you know, getting stressed out and getting angry, like what vibrationally is that going to put out into the situation or into your life in general? Whereas if you are sat there like, okay, I may not understand this, it may hurt, it may be shitty, but I'm processing, I'm healing, and I'm dealing with that. But for this moment, I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to trust, and I'm going to surrender in this calm and peaceful state. You allow a shit ton of miracles to come into your life, in the sense of spiritual solutions, finding peace, finding calmness, and that has to reflect in your outer worlds, in the situation. It just has to. So the more you can kind of, and you know, I know I'm using the word mature, and like I don't want it to sound like it's not mature, because obviously we're human, we feel things, and shit happens. Like we're all a work in progress and we're learning, but it is just really like almost taking yourself out of that position and be like, right, if I was like a bird's eye view right now, or looking on someone else's situation, what would I advise them to do? Like breathe, process it, allow yourself in private to grieve, cry, punch a pillow, whatever it may be. But once those emotions are released from you, because it is healthy to release them, you don't want them stored up and bottled up inside, you want to release them. So release it in whatever way feels good for you, and then allow yourself to calm down, allow yourself to have that time to chill, process, and then say, right, how do I feel now some time has passed? And you know, I am definitely someone who feels pressured to reply to people. I feel pressured because it's like, I don't want people to think I'm ignoring them. So sometimes I do just say, I need some time to process this or whatever. But you know, having that time is so important, because then you're not reacting in the moment, you're not reacting in the intensity of the situation. You are, you know, allowing yourself to level-headedly look at the situation and judge it from a place of calmness and peace, and with the universe's support. So I hope this has helped you guys, and as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments box below, and if you've got any suggestions of finding calmness and peace in a stressful situation. But over anything, like, time is a great healer, and sometimes just taking a few days out to really be by yourself and process things is the best thing. And it's definitely what I've learned along the way. Instead of reacting in the moment, is to just say, right, I'm taking myself out of this situation, I'm going to process, I'm going to allow myself to calm down, and then whatever I feel after that moment, I know is a true emotion, and I know it is how I really feel, not my ego and how I feel attacked, or, you know, in the intensity of the situations. And also when you do that, you know, you're gonna attract better solutions quicker, because if you're reacting in that moment, you're only gonna delay peacefulness anyway. So you might as well just stop, take the time to process things, and then, you know, not react, but, you know, like respond in a way that feels good to you, because then you're going to attract miracles and solutions so much quicker than reacting, because you're just putting off the peacefulness by doing that. So remember, the inner reflects the outer. So the more you can find that peace, find that trust, and find that surrender in moments of chaos, in moments of tragedy, in moments of crisis, in moments of all of the emotions, you know, you will be able to attract those solutions into your life, which will mean that you find that inner peace and outer peace as well. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget you can join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook. The link will be down below for you to go and join, and you can join myself and other like-minded souls talk all things positivity and spirituality. I hope you have a great week whatever you're up to. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon, and I will see you in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love guys.